Well, hi, good morning. It's July 18th here. It's a gray, rainy day. I have two unhappy cats in this house with me, and I'm about to face up to the stringing problem on this radio. The string is here. It's laying slack. Doesn't appear to be broken. So I'd like to do something about that. Now, my options are, quite simply, stick this string back on, or replace the string with new string, which is probably the preferred thing to do. Now, I've looked for a stringing guide for this radio. I have not found one, so the fact that the string is here, even though it's off, probably going to give me a lot of insight into how this goes. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace the string, but before I do that, I'm going to install this one back on the radio, because it's in there, and it will be the guide for me. Restringing radios can be nerve-wracking. I find it very nerve-wracking. So I've learned to be extremely patient with doing this kind of stuff. I take my time and try to not get my dander up. So we'll just take a look at how this is running, and then I'll probably photograph this. Why is this down so low here? Yeah, the frustration's already starting. So the string, you notice that this is not running, suspended by strings. It's on these two rods. That's kind of interesting. And this is still attached solidly here. That's a big help. That's a big help. So that means if the pointer's all the way this way, the capacitor is probably... What's happened? Capacitor not moving? What happened? The string has gone down under. I almost chopped the string there. So this string is running under the bracket here. It must have always been under the bracket. Under this bracket? Okay, somehow it has to get down to here. There's a metal piece here. Obviously, that's to hook and control the string a little bit. At least that's what it looks like to me. From where? It's got to get. Can't go straight from here to there. Must go from here. Something like that is happening. It's going to take a wild guess. It goes around the wheel. So most of these radios, the string terminates at the wheel with a spring, either one spring or two springs. There's various ways to terminate it. In this particular case, the spring is located within the string. It's where'd it go? Here it is here. There's always a spring involved with these things. It's not particularly strong. Interestingly enough, they've put in a limiter. This piece of metal here, very simple, just a piece of wire basically, bent so the spring can only go so far. You can't pull it past a certain amount. That's what it seems like. It's unusual. Okay. Where are we getting here? So this attachment is lining up with the top of these, obviously. So this should be coming over the top like this. This is angled. It's aimed at this. So you can kind of guess we're going like that, something like that. Does not seem right. Doesn't seem perfectly lined up, but it can't be coming down this way, can it? No, it can't be coming down this way. There's no other place for it to go. It must be going over here. So this would probably, well, I'm just guessing away here. This would probably wrap around probably twice. Let's put it around twice, and then we can take a look at how much slack is left in the string. Get an idea if we're getting anywhere here. Okay, so the string comes over the top, down here. There's a gigantic amount of slack here, still in it. This is a very curious piece right here. This piece. You wouldn't think they'd want the string rubbing on this edge. So you'd think it would have to come up like so. To where? There's nowhere for it to go. If I pull it tight from the far side here, sort of, but what if it just came on an angle? It's quite possible it just comes on an angle. Well, you know what? It can make it here. It's not touching anything. That must be the case. Now, what about the huge amount of slack that's in it? This has to be the correct string. I mean, this can't be another string from another radio or anything like that. A huge amount of slack here. Go around again. That's a little much. 3 times around here. That looks like enough slack to go around this wheel again. Oh, we can't pull it any further this way because of the attachment there. So we'll haul it back over. This big wheel again. That just doesn't seem right, but what else would I do? Okay, let's see if I can pull this off. Gotta come down around the outside. Can't just let that fall. Okay, so I haven't got enough string here to pull this off. Unless I come up from the bottom. So I have a tool here that I fashioned with tremendous skill, which can help me here. Let me just find it. And it appears to be not findable. So I need a tool with a hook on the end. Somebody's got a hook. Ah, not finding the tools I need. Uh-oh. Here it is. Here it is. Hidden from view. Here it is. Hook. Reverse hook. Okay, now what was I going to do? Why did I think I needed this thing? I was going to hook this here. That just doesn't seem to be anywhere near enough string. It's off the wheel here. It's off the wheel here. Is it just being off those wheels? No, can't be enough. So there's no chance this string is too long. This string is the right length. It has to be. So something's got to work out here. We're on this wheel back here. We're on this. We're on all wheels, and we still have a lot of slack. And there it goes. Boing. Yes, chuckle now. Did I really get it wrong? So you can see how if you didn't have the string to start with, if you had a radio presented to you, there's no string on it. And you think, well, this can't be difficult. Well, you're starting without a diagram and without an old string to follow. You're in big trouble. Even something like this. For crying out loud, I have the string and I still can't figure it out. Did I miss a pulley somewhere? Is there a hidden pulley? I don't see one. So I think this is quite likely what this is supposed to do. Come across the front like that. Probably behind this hook. There's a very long piece here. This piece in here, it's very long. The string's going to travel a long ways. So the spring also restricts how far you can move the string. And remember, the pointer is attached, pretty sure to be in its original position. So the pointer has not made it to the end yet, and the spring is about to collide down here. What's that telling me? Okay, so we go all the way to the end. Now the spring is colliding down here. This can't be the way it goes. This has to connect to here. This has to come up to here. Did I wrap it the wrong way? Oh, I could have easily wrapped it the wrong way. Now that's capacitor closed, pointer at low frequency end. That's where we are now. This wants to go this way, and the string wants to go the other way. The string wants to go this way. So this will have to come up and over the top this way. One of the things you can do while you're working on this kind of stuff, of these small wheels, you can let the string come off and go behind the wheel and get caught on the axle. And the thing is, the string won't come right down. It'll stay up roughly in the right place. Just bear in mind there's a little extra slack while you're working. And later you can get things right. You can stick it on the wheel. This feels pretty good. This feels really good. I can get it around. Now I gotta pull the spring. The spring is almost open all the way. Okay, that's just, yikes. It's off this wheel, it's off the wheel down here, and now it's getting too tight. Well, which way is it? Anytime now this string could break while I'm doing this, and then I'm going to lose my position. I'm going to lose my my guide here. How can that be too tight? Let's dismount it off here. Get a little more slack. Put it on the big wheel. See what we got here. So there's slack. The spring is slack also. So I can get this around 3 wheels. This looks like the right way to do it. I'm just going around 1 wheel. Takes up all the slack. How am I going to get it? Can't even get it around 1 wheel. You can see the spring stretching out to the maximum. It's a hard maximum on this string. This not on, that's not on. Went around too many times. The whole idea was to go around too many times. How many times around is it? You have 2 strings there? I can't remember. Doesn't look like it. Yeah, 2 strings there. Twice around. Twice around would be unusual. Twice around any one of these is strange too. That doesn't normally happen. Number of times around here is always critical, but it's in place right now. So it has its original number of times around, which is 1, 2, and then out. Twice around. Where could I be going wrong here? I mean, there's just not that many options. At this point, this has really got to be the way it goes. String was replaced before incorrectly. I don't know. I don't think so. Something is missing. The wheel has gone missing. No, because there's no slack here. There's no wheel. No extra wheel. Wheel I haven't seen. It's got to go over the top. I got to take 1 turn off, and we'll try it again. And we'll just, this is what I would think it would normally be. Pull up the slack here. Oh, it came off. Yeah, if you go into this process thinking, oh, this will take 10 minutes, because it kind of looks that way at the start, you're setting yourself up for frustration. The problem is, once you get frustrated doing this, things go downhill from there. So you don't want to let that happen. What you can do is you can turn on a video camera, record yourself, and then you have to behave because people are watching. That's kind of my solution. Now we got a ton of slack here. Can it possibly be consumed by just doing these things? I can't imagine it. I still have just a ton of slack. It's around every wheel now and doubled on this one, and there's still slack in it. I did look for a stringing guide. I have a stringing guide manual from this date range. Couldn't find anything on the internet except somebody making a comment that they also are looking for a stringing diagram for a 981 and they can't find one. And the person said they looked everywhere. So I kind of thought this was aimed here, but now I have it coming up straight. If this were coming up straight, this wheel wouldn't be on this angle that it's on. It would be straight also. So they have this on an angle specifically so its string heads, well, that would be the wrong way according to the other thing I did. That would be the wheel would go backwards. Is that really true? Did I get it backwards? There we are again, same kind of slack in it. A handful of slack. A handful of slack. Can we get around again? Am I just doing the same wrong thing over? Oops, all coming off. All coming off. It all came off. The whole time I'm doing this, I realize that once I get this on, I'm taking it off and putting a new string on in its place. Going through the same. Actually, that's got an additional problem, and that is getting the string the right length. And that's a real challenge. You've only got a 1/4 inch to play with in the spring. So this should go down to the wheel there. We got a huge amount of slack still. We're off here, we're on there, we're kind of off here. Okay, let's go around one more time. What happens? I did this. I didn't make it. Right, there's no way you can make it. Well, that's kind of weird. Clearly, there's no way to put a string on this radio. It's not possible. Yeah, so a good time to have a little drink of coffee now, and maybe I'll see something different when I come back, because I'm stymied. I'm stumped. Stymied. Hey, that's my new word of the week. Not even a new word. Well, I think I discovered where the slack goes in the string, and that's from doing a little more internet research. There really are other people besides me looking for a stringing diagram for this exact radio. Somebody said, well, take a look at this diagram. This is for a 987. This is a 981. And maybe it's just about the same. I think it is just about the same. So there it is. We're going to hold it like this. That would be how it's arranged. See the spring coming down. The eyelet spring. Here's the part number for the spring. Once, twice, down around this lower wheel here. Up the back side. This is showing it up the back side. Around, and here's the secret. It gets pulled in and out. Small piece of adhesive tape. What? Small piece of adhesive tape. So it's pulled in, it'd be pulled in through a hole that's been made specially in the drum. So there should be a hole in here. You can pull the string through. You know, I didn't notice one. I don't see one. There's a tiny hole here. That's a teeny tiny hole. That's not the usual. Well, interestingly enough, it's not just a hole punched through here. It's got a like a rivet. It's like a rivet, and then they drilled out the rivet, giving a smooth surface. So maybe the string does go down through there? Could you possibly do that? Wouldn't that show up in the way that you'd think there'd be a big kink in the string, the old string, where that occurred? I didn't notice any kinks. Any sharp kinks, like a really sharp kink. Plus, you'd think this would come down perhaps to a spring. A lot of radios, they have a spring right in here. You can't get this through that little hole, can you? This is not the way they usually do this, so I don't think I'm right on this. But it sure would take up just the right amount of slack. I mean, why would they put a hole in here if it wasn't for the string to go through? There we are. And this would come down, kind of hook around here. Again, this is all practice because I'm going to replace this string. Come down here. One comes out, around and down to the wheel, down to the wheel. One comes out and around. Let's see this again. Out and around. Doesn't quite pass the hole to go down to the wheel. That depends upon the position of this. I've got this all the way to one extreme. I probably have this turned to the matching extreme. So that extreme would be closed. This. Well, I like that. It's got the same angle here. Oh, that's pretty good. Same angle, eh? So then one string, the string that's heading down here, comes off the back. It goes around to get there. So we go around. I'll get this on, then I'll say, oh, you know what, I'm not going to put a new string on. That's what'll happen. And I'll say, oh, yeah. There's almost no reason to continue at this point. I should just get on with the new string. Let's just size this up, though. Pretty sure I got it figured out now. Then the other side to come up off of here, right, and go up to this bigger wheel up above here. Go across, come down, get around that. So now there's hardly any slack. Yeah, this is definitely how it goes. Okay, let me pull from over here. Oops. Amazingly enough, I did not break it. There it is. There it is. So that's the whole deal. Fire, it just popped off. Popped off of this wheel. Why would you pop off? Why would you not stay on? That's probably what made it come off in the first place. Let's watch that again. So I'm looking for the lining up. Sometimes when the string is too tight, these things that are out on a long shaft or whatever will actually twist a bit under the pressure, and then that starts the derailing of the string. Let me just grab the other camera here. Focus may not be appropriate for this. Let's see. So what I'm doing is I'm looking straight down, wheel to wheel, to see how they're lining up. See, there's a misalignment there a little bit. Is that why it dismounted? Okay, turning it. No, actually it's coming up from the bottom, so. There, looks like it's going to dismount. It won't go any further. That's because the capacitor is closed, but the pointer is not. It's not all the way. Pointer not in the right spot. I'm pretty sure the pointer is clamped right in here. Well, can you move it without moving the string? So it's clamped here, and there's a piece of paper or something in there to keep the metal from biting through the string, I think, and that's clamped there. Let's see how tight that clamping is. So I'm going to hold the string and try to move the point. Oh, it slides right along. Okay, so we're going to slide it down to where I think it should be. This is closed. Roughly here. Now we'll just try coming across. Why is it tightening up so much? So another thing that happens in these radios is the string can get on top of itself on something like this. So I've been fooling around with it, and it's probably just kind of accidentally wrapped itself badly. Let's see if I can get it to normalize. There we go. Okay, so see how it's traveling across there as it goes? That's perfect. Okay, so it's not doubling over on itself. It doubles over on itself here. The feeling you get is you don't hit a sudden end, like it didn't hit the end of the capacitor. You hit a soft end, and you can keep pushing on it because it's kind of inviting, and while you're doing that, you're cutting the string right here and liable to break it. So the spring comes right just to the edge here. Yeah, I'm tempted to just leave the string now. I've been handling it, and there isn't really any sign of anywhere where it's frayed. Strings, these often get frayed in some spot. Not here. I'm just going to leave it alone. See? That's what's going to happen. Certainly for now. I can carry on with the work on the radio. It's good. Good. It's good. Is there a chance this is supposed to be on the other side of this? Trying to keep it away from here. Is that how that's supposed to be? Like that? So the slamming is the end of the capacitor run. Looks like the spring is hitting here, but it's not actually. Very good. So another issue now is, well, where exactly does the pointer go on the string? We saw how easy it was to move it around and slide it around on the string. Now, sometimes there are marks, starting marks. Sometimes you're just lining it up with the very edge, the pointer. Let's tune all the way down. You see I'm well past the edge. Let's go up to the other end. See how we are not reaching the edge. So it looks to me like this is one you would line it up on the edges here. So I'm going to push this a little further until we get it on the edges. That's right on the edge now. So I think that's the proper starting point. Proper place for the pointer on the string, which is critical. You can't be getting that wrong. Don't think there was any statements made about it. Pointer assembly part number. This view is shown looking at right front end of chassis with pointer in extreme left hand travel. Looking at right front end. Yeah, that's right. So you see this wheel like that. Yeah, how do you draw 3 dimensions on a flat paper? Good, you've done it. We have done it. It is done. I didn't suffer terribly during that process. Good, so that's very important now going forward as we start doing things that affect the tuning of the radio. Especially when I get around to alignment. The pointer has to be on, it has to be correct. Well, I think that's it for now. I think that's it for today, perhaps, for this radio. Very good. Good enough. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll keep going here tomorrow. See ya.